So, quick Jacko overview. Hashtag Jacko challenge, huh? Right, fellas? Ha 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 ha. Jacko, so 2-star rated difficulty, the new DLC. Back from Exerd. If you have PTSD from Exerd like I do, the good news is, at least at a glance, a lot of the obnoxious shit is gone. She has enough stuff that I had to take notes on her moves because I was like, I can't remember this stuff quickly. So first, we actually have to start with meter. So she starts it with 1 bar already. And even though you see 1 bar at the start of the round down there, there's actually 2 bars. There is the yellow is when you can summon the servants, and the gray is what happens when you unsummon the servants. You can't tell right now, but you'll see once I start showing off moves how this can be important. So for example, I summon the servant. Now you see that there's 2, right? There is, I can very soon, maybe in like literally less than a second, summon another servant. This gray meter here is once I do some type of command with the servants, the gray meter will meet the yellow meter. She can summon up to 3, so let's summon. I'd like to introduce you to your new friends if you're a Jacko player. Happy Servant. I don't even know what this expression is. My dude's feeling himself. And Chaos Servant. This dude is OD in the back, right? You could always only have 3. So let's just go into her standard moveset. So is there a jab? Pretty standard jabs, -2. At a glance, it doesn't hit crouchers, but she can do 2P, 5P. Her 2P and her 5P are both mashable, which is really nice. You could delay it, right? Especially for the 2P, it's a big deal because this actually hits. Like that. She has a 5K. It looks kind of like her old 5K. Moves, jumps, cancelable. Goes into 6H. Goes into a couple of buttons. At a glance, I have mixed feelings about this as a poke. Right now, I haven't seen her hitboxes, but there are some characters. Milia is like this, Ram is like this, Chip is like this, who have these 5Ks where, like, we all know, for example, where Soul, everyone's like, oh my god, Soul's is 3 frames and stuff, but like, Soul has a 2-hit 5K that has a pretty long total duration, and he's pretty vulnerable in the legs, right? But characters like Milia, Chip, and Ram, and now Jacko, they have these, like, you're sticking your leg out really far and your other leg is really far back, so it's kind of hard to hit with lows. But Jacko's is also aiming upward like this, so it looks kind of like it could be like a pseudo fast anti-air, I don't know. Then we have her Far Slash. It looks like her old Far Slash. Reaches pretty far here. It's much easier to counter poke. She has not too many Gatling options of it. Like, she's got the standard stuff. And when I say Gatling options, I mean like reliable things that reach. So you're mostly going to be using this. You're not going to be using 2H too much. It's 2H that doesn't reach for the most part. We go to Close Slash. Like other characters, it's the same as usual. 7-frame startup, -2, mad options, jump castable. You know the drill by now. Her 2S. This is why I want to see hitboxes, because I don't know, like, this one was really, really good in Exerd. She has an anti-air on a crouch normal, and she's really low to the ground here, as you can see. Like, she's pretty small on the ground because of her crouch, and you get, as you see, you get a medium counter hit on that. For some people, it could be hard to anti-air her 6P. Her 6P is your standard kind of, you know, has upper body invincibility. It's usually the game's go-to anti-air. But not a lot of characters have too many crouching, like 2S anti-air. Like, off the top of my head, like Faust is another example of a character that has that. And he's also very small on the ground. So this is kind of good. Like, if you're waiting down here, you can like counter poke either with like 2K or something. And then if they're in the air, you could just hit them with this 2S nice and easy. You have this 2H. This is a new move. I don't really know what you're going to do with this yet. I haven't seen the hitbox on this. Once you get to like your heavy normals, you don't really have a lot of Gatling options anyway, so you're going to be special canceling off stuff. The 5H is a 2-hitting move. Neither is jump cancelable, but you can cancel the first hit. Let's see how good my footsies are. I'm about there. She does have a command normal in 6H, channeling her best Axel impression here with her 6H there. Moves like this are better in this game just because the air dash is slower, right? So it's easier to snipe from further. You can kind of like with this if you're at a right spot. I forgot about her sweep. It looks like the exit sweep. My bad. Looks like the exit sweep, but nowhere near as safe. Nowhere near as safe as before. Travels decently far too, which is nice. We got our air normals, JP. Pretty standard JP. JK, this is a weird one. I want to see the hitbox on this. I really want to see the hitbox on this. My girl's breaking her back literally doing this. JS, swinging here. Looks like it hits pretty deep. And then you have JH, which this move is really deceiving how deep this move actually hits. Really deceiving. And an example would be this. It hits way deeper than you think it does. She also has JD, which is this fireball. She fires one. It goes pretty far, actually. She used to be able to fire multiple, now she can just fire one. Her movement speed, pretty standard. Like, she has a run. She's not that fast, though. She runs kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. Her backdash looks crazy fast. Her backdash looks crazy fast. Her air backdash, you saw. So it lines up with most characters where it doesn't go that far, but it's really fast. But her forward air dash, do I want to say weird, unique? I don't know. I've said in other videos, there's a theme of like the easier characters have longer air dashes, right? But she's actually rated as a difficult character in game. She's rated like 2-star difficulty, which is same as Milia, right? But this is her air dash. And she can't do stuff quickly out of this air dash too. She travels the entire distance and then does the normal. It's very unusual for the game where normally like, I actually will have to switch off Milia to show a better example. Let's use King Kyle. Kai, similarly, you know, he has a pretty far air dash. Same thing where if you press the button early, it'll come out on like the first frame once you can actually do an action. But in his case, like, notice like how he kind of like flings himself down a little bit compared to normal. So here's his normal one, right? Now here is him pressing a button. Where like Jacko is like, here's her normal one, and here's her pressing a button. Like, she doesn't do that same arc, and she goes really far. She can move, but I feel like her defensive movements, like moving backwards, is much stronger than her moving forwards in general, especially her forward air dash. She can cover space in front of her with like this normal 2H, 2D. She's got like a good 5k, and of course you're gonna have the minions, which we're gonna go into in a little bit. 236p is the summon, and there's two versions. You can summon like this, or you can hold it, and she will hold it. So when she's holding it, she has a different moveset, and her movement is all different. So she moves around the screen really quickly, and she still has like kind of like the same air dashes, and she has like follow-ups while she's holding it like this, right? If you press P, you'll recover the servant. If you press K, you can make them attack from here. For example, right? So she gets an anti-air option she doesn't normally get. I don't know what the return on this is going to be, right? But you get to do that from there. Also have defend. So that's defend, and which is S. H is the bomb. Right? H is the bomb, and then D drops the servant. You can also, if the servant is out like this, you can press 2P and she can pick it up from there. And all these things you can do in the air as well, by the way. So you can do air dash attack, you could do air dash defend, all these things you can do in the air too. If you want to throw the servant, you have to use 6P. So let's pick her up and then we can toss it. Okay, if you played Exerd, you're really familiar with this. All sorts of things you could do with this. To get the servants back, you can use 214P. You're also going to notice here that every time I summon, the yellow gauge will go back, but I still have the gray gauge. Don't think the gray gauge is like a limit. The gray gauge is you using the special moves of the servant. So like, for example, I can immediately do the kick. I kind of wish it was like a different color, but I don't know what color they would make it. Like if it was like green or something, I don't know. Because at a glance, the gray looks like, oh, it's like you can't do something, but it's actually you can't do something, whatever. All the other special moves line up with the ones I mentioned from when she is holding it. So attack happens here. Here is the shield. And then you've got the bomb. There's the bomb. And the last one is recover. That's 214P. You can also kick the servants with like a nice soccer kick. But there's actually more to talk about in regards to the servants. You can hit them and make them go different ways. So they'll bounce just like that. Or I could fling them like that. There's all sorts of ways you can hit it and fling the servants at your opponent, which is different than the soccer kick. And when you do that too, you can make them do stuff. You can cancel it, like it counts as a character, so you can cancel it while they're being flung as well. So for example, I can do that. So I kicked them with 5H over to Kai, canceled it into the attack command. Let's just quick look at her super. So, okay. So she has a command grab, the old command grab, but it's a super. I think in Exo this was just 6D, right? But this is a super, does mad damage, breaks the wall, you know. And then she has her other super that has 2 versions. It's 236, 236. This is a really big one. So she has a Cheer super that has 2 versions. And you can tell which one because she puts out a different flag and they look a little different, right? They got some little extra effects. So the S version makes the servants invincible and prevents them from going away when Jacko gets hit. And the H version makes the gauge go up faster. As you can see, much faster. And you can stack them. So let's get 100 meter real quick. So she could do both too. So you can have just a superpower. They're mad buff. Look at all those green arrows of the powered up servant. Just a couple of extra final things to keep in mind her playing against her is that these servants, you can hit them. You can hit them. That's why there's a defense one. The defense one causes like a little guard crush. Like that. They can protect themselves like that. So you can attack them, kill them. There we go, hopefully. Okay. If you hit Jacko, the servants go away too. This character, I'm really interested to see what people do with her because she has some pretty interesting mechanics. It's literally day 1, so I haven't watched too much of what people are doing, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what people are doing. You guys have any questions? I'm definitely not an expert on this character, and I'm not even starting her until next week, so